Hello, my name's Tom Carhill and it's 16:25 on Wednesday the 22nd of March 2017. Right, I'm going to do this fairly short video, but it's a recommendation video. Now, this is to be taken, I suppose, in generality as well as with this specific recommendation. You've got this woman here called Diana Davison, or Davison. She's on Twitter as well, and she's done a load of videos going back 2 or 3 years at least now, and the channel is called Feminism space LOL, like laugh out loud, yeah. And I don't really like text language, but I think it's just, to keep it short and catchy. The thing with this channel is very good about it is that it's got highly kind of like somebody who's obviously quite academic, explaining things in very simple ways, being very well researched. It's quite a narrow field, I suppose, because it's all to do with the nonsense which is feminism, and how it's got out of control, and how there's complete double standards, and how it's very retrograde, and how anyone who's just following it hook, line and sinker is really, just an idiot or very, very deluded, and how a lot of the people involved with it are very evil, deranged criminals, and how they, they think that, well, they seem to be, especially in Canada, which is where she's from, they seem to be a law unto themselves, and they're quite happy to perjure themselves in court, try and use this to get payouts out of people, try to get people to lose their jobs, get people sent to prison for rapes which couldn't possibly have happened. And one of the very best bits, but this is going back a little way, was she went through certain court cases, and there's lots of people who cover this issue, which is that if you've got this idea that whenever a woman does something wrong, she's actually been bullied by a man, and whenever a man does something wrong, he's been bad, and it sort of gets to the point where a woman can't be cross-examined because it might upset her, and you've got to presume that the man's guilty if he's allegedly done anything, and if the woman's allegedly done something, even though there's 10 witnesses, they'll assume it's the man's fault. So it was to do with this, and how there's been cases in Canada, which this is going back a little while ago, how they were constantly pushing this envelope. So there was a whole load of cases that she went through, and including the judges involved, and all of the judges in these cases were all they were all these kind of lefty feminist lunatics, yeah. And they're not interested in helping women out. They're interested in, destroying society. She doesn't go too far into the fact that, they're communists, and it's communist and it's cultural Marxism. She doesn't really go into that too much. But so I see it, women judges fuck up the legal system 2 years ago. Yeah, it was about that time that there was a lot of good ones there. As I said, the style's quite unique. I don't think she's not remotely interested in getting people to meet people halfway. She just says what she says, and she's definitely not bothered about offending anyone. But anyway, as I said, I'd say that this is a good channel, and I think it's one of the ones you can watch a video and you'll learn stuff, and it's quite entertaining. It's not difficult to watch. It's not boring. It's not one of those ones where you want to turn a video off straight away. Sometimes, if there's a whole load about the same thing, but then that's the same with any video, isn't it? If there's a whole load that are kind of about the same thing. But with her, there is that she doesn't just do videos for the sake of it. They do always have extra stuff. But you see, some of these are to do with high-profile cases in Canada. Like there's one recently. Let me see. There's this guy called Steve Galloway. That's some case in Canada. I think they were saying he's raped someone or something completely made up. And then there's another one. See this Lucy DeCouter or whatever it is, and they're linked to this case against this Gomeshi, and Gomeshi's sort of like an Italian or something Canadian, and he was on telly, or he was a singer, and all these women have basically said he sexually assaulted them years and years and years and years and years and years ago. However, they continue to go out with him, be seen out in public with him, go to barbecues with him, be pictured of him, all swooning over him and smiling. Yet they're all going round saying that, you know, he's sexually assaulted them, and they were really like basically trying to get him to lose his job and, you know, ruin him just out of spite. And it's quite clear that in these ones' cases, yeah, they were just doing it because they're nutters who want attention, and they're jealous about the fact their lives are going nowhere, and they probably actually quite like, well, they did like him quite clearly because there's even photographic evidence of it. And then they're saying now in Canada that if a woman acts like she's likes a man, you know, for months after some alleged incident where he abused her, that could be a normal reaction to him having abused her. Now, you see, the whole point with all this ultimately comes back to the ultimate victim is women, isn't it? Because if you've got women falling for this kind of women of retarded 5-year-olds who have no responsibility, then that's the exact same way they're dealt with in a lot of, you know, what would say third world countries or, you know, extremist Muslim countries, because they're just like, well, women can't really be trusted and they're too stupid, and so they can't be giving evidence in court, because that's where it will lead to. If women are thought to be too emotionally unbalanced to be relied upon in court, and they just assume that whatever they say is true, that sounds like you're just giving them like supremacy status, but it's not, because it gets to the point where that just becomes unworkable, and people go, oh, well, women just say anything. And you see, what will happen is you'll get lowest common denominator being the predominant force. So all women will just eventually start getting effectively discriminated against as a result of, you know, the perception they can't do any wrong. You can't. It's. I don't like to use one unsustainable because it's used a lot, like, you know, in as kind of propagandist term. But it is unsustainable to say that women, you know, can be treated differently from men all the time. It just will not work. It cannot work. It doesn't make sense. It's like trying to do maths but denying that the number 9 exists, and wondering why your figures are always going to be out. It's going to get to a point where it's just not going to be workable anymore. It might work in one instance. You can get perversion in a system and it will work in one instance, but it can't work constantly forever. So anyway, Diana Davison, as I said, I think you'll all be very impressed if you see her channel. It's very good, and I think it's well meant. I think she's genuine, by the way. I mean, she could be some kind of controlled opposition, and she's just building herself up to do something bad. As we know, this is how they work, but I haven't seen anything that implies that. But the whole point is, as with all of these people, if they're controlled opposition, but they're giving you lots of very interesting, highly sourced material which pertains to court cases and stuff, well, I mean, you know, what are you complaining about? You know, it's clear what she's saying it appears to always be true, and it's all very, very heavily substantiated. Okay, anyway, my name's Tom Carhill. I'd like to know what you think. It's 16:33 on Wednesday the 22nd of March 2017. Yeah, let me know what you think. As I said, it's Feminism space LOL on YouTube, and it's Diana Davison on Twitter. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye now. She's also got a website, by the way. I forget what it is.